What up, people? My name is Lewis Lee from All Ends Media and Plan and Traffic. Let me put my glasses on so I can see. What's going on, everybody? Good evening tonight. We got Nelson from Boss Hog Torque Converters going to be our guest tonight, and I'm going to get him in right now. But for that, if everybody can take a look at the website here, we're going to keep updating it. You can go through and listen to a podcast if you're in your vehicle or on Alexa, or you can watch some previous videos right here. So we're going to start getting a lot of those up. We got a lot of talented people from TV, and then we'll have our calendar popping. Then our sponsors, you can see Boss Hog. So we're getting them in now. So yeah, if everybody can go, check out the website. Tell me what you think. If you have any ideas, please let me know. All right, we're going to get Nelson in.
There we go.
Hey, Nelson, how's it going?
Hey, it's going great, man.
Good. Oh, same old stuff, man. Just trying to stay out of the way so I don't get ran over.
I heard that.
Waiting on Ray to jump in. He'll be in a minute. Hello, everybody in the chat room. We got Brian, Jim. Who else we got? Papa Squirrel, as always. Chassis John, the fellas. So what's new, Nelson?
Well, we've actually been adding to our product line, and we've actually got some exciting things to introduce here coming up in months to come, and already gearing up for the 2020 SEMA show. We're adding all kinds of new products for the No Prep series. So we've got converters out there that's handling the twin turbos and 600 shot of nitrous type vehicles for the really big tires, and sponsoring obviously Playing in Traffic. I'm honored to be here. We're also sponsoring several schools, one in which John Gardner with Tech Garage actually is one of the guys that we've donated some product to, and also All Out Live with Brian Bassan and like Shannon Poole and George Rubistello. All those guys are out there racing all the time, where they're actually live streaming the Pink's old show and put a new twist on it. You can actually show up and go to their website, buy their tickets, and you can actually win money, even if you don't drive. Gavin will be there. He's going to be hosting the Call Out series. So,
sweet.
It's
Yeah, we're going to try to get Brian and them on in a couple weeks on here so they can, tell us about it a little bit. But, man, I tell you what, our network is starting to grow, man. It's like everybody's starting to be connected, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, to me, when you're growing, I mean, it's all about who you grow with, and we've been really, really blessed with all the great friends and that we've made with Playing in Traffic, and Papa Squirrel actually visited my shop, several months back, and we took him through and showed him some of the specialty stuff that we're doing. Yeah. It's kind of top secret, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I think he had a blast, man. So.
Oh yeah, Papa Squirrel and Debbie, man, they're on a mission, dude. They are. They're all over the world visiting.
Yeah, man. Hey, did you see that new ride that he got last? I don't know exactly when they got it. It was several months ago. Maybe last summer. Man, it was such a clean ride.
Yeah, Debbie showed me pictures of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, they I love them too, man. They're just so so fun to be around, and talk to. Good people.
They're great people. Hey, have you heard about that new Godzilla motor that everybody's talking about over at Ford? The 7.3 liter gas push rod motor.
Well, I was just online looking at it just before we came on, and it seems to be a monster, man. That is going to be a beast. I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to pull it up on the screen here. Hey, Ray.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hey, Ray.
What's good?
How you doing, Nelson? Good to see you.
Great, man.
I was
seeing your posts everywhere, man. You're getting out there pretty good.
Say that again, please.
I said that I've seen your posts everywhere, man. You're like everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, on Facebook stuff. Yeah.
Are people reposting? Is that what they're doing? Are they?
No, your Instagram.
Yeah.
I've
seen it coming from other people other than yourself. So.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Some reposting. Yeah, because I haven't been that too. I try to keep it true to form. Like if I do something and I'll post it, and I realize like I could go on the phone. You could take stuff out from like whenever and post it, and it's still relevant because if it's topical. But I keep saying I should do that, and I haven't. I got one coming tomorrow. I got to work on a diesel tow truck. They got me working on damn trucks again, so I got to do a vacuum pump. Yeah.
What is it, Ford?
No, this one's it's a GMC, a 3500. My buddy at the shop bought it. He flipped a Crown Victoria, flipped the Crown Vic and bought the tow truck. It's a really stubby body tow truck. They used it in the housing department in the city, so they could get in and out of tight places. And it's got that pinch bar in the back, so you could pick up a car. It's a great repo truck. So you could pick up a car that's parked, and you could be parallel to it and pull it out. Plus, it has a bang bar on it, which is great. And I picked it up for a good price. So gonna whip it into shape.
Nice. We were just talking about the new Ford 7.3 Godzilla.
Right. Yeah.
I'll pull it up now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beast. I didn't know anything about it. Nelson hit me to it.
I've heard about it. I'm not well versed, so I'd like to learn about it myself.
I've heard stories and stuff, from the guys over at Holly, and drew my attention to it. So I just I had to go down the street and test drive a few.
Oh, okay.
Very smooth. It's awesome power band range, man. It's like 485 foot-pounds of torque. I mean, 10-speed automatic.
Look at that intake.
That was suck some air, huh?
I mean, that was something that would look like it was off a top. Oh, that says Evan Smith. Okay. Yeah, it's a good friend of ours, Evan. Yeah, it looks like that intake was off a that sheet metal, the aluminum one looks like it was off a fuel car.
Yeah.
I guess that's a production version with the plastic one. And Evan's probably saying to stick it into a Mustang if I know him. Into a Fox body.
It'll fit.
Yeah, right. We can make it fit.
That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back. Let's see.
It doesn't measure out that much bigger than the 5-liter Coyote motor. So I mean it is worthy, and I believe that that's going to be the next go-to swap engine from Ford. It's got 4 internals, and I mean it's going to be a beast, man.
Yeah, as I understand it, though, the Coyote is nowhere near as easy to fit into things as an LS is. It's a lot harder to fit in, from what I've heard, at least.
Yeah, that's why we haven't been seeing the swaps too much.
Exactly. Because we keep busting Brian's chops, and we're going to come and put a Coyote in his Mustang, but to do it, you'd literally have to rebuild the whole front of that car. I don't know how you would do it.
Now, Nelson, what do you think the size difference of this and the Coyote? Is it much?
They actually, in that video that you pulled up, they explained that it's only it's just shy of 2 inches wider, and it's not much more than like 1.5 inches longer.
Now, look, that car's got shock towers or strut towers. Yeah, Evan goes through the whole thing. He's well versed in that. He does. I saw that video. He does go through the whole swap thing.
Yeah.
But that car that it was in showed strut towers, which is usually the first thing you cut out. You cut those out and go to an IRS or something.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool. I might have to go up to the dealer and check one out.
No, man, you're rocking that F-150. Come on.
Yeah. No, I ain't going to buy one. I'm going to go test drive it.
Yeah.
See if I can lose some of the tire. Huh?
Man's got to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to connect up there.
Yeah, that had the 10-speed automatic, the one I just drove.
Mhm.
I think all these 7.3s, it's only in the Super Duty series of trucks. And man, I mean, it was shifting precise, really smooth, and man, it climbed the gears a lot quicker and easier than I thought. So
Yeah.
that's a hell of a combination.
What are they doing for torque conversion in that transmission?
Well, that's a shared platform now. On that transmission on the Super Duty, it is actually a bigger input shaft. It is, I mean, noticeably. I've seen on another YouTube video. This thing's been lighting up the internet, and it's considerably larger plenitude gear set as well. So, even though it's a shared platform, 10-speed automatic, this one here, it has been beefed up quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, if somebody wanted to put boost to it, I mean, with that crank and everything that they were showing us, I mean, you could probably put a 250 shot of nitrous on it from the factory.
Yeah. Have you seen the converter that they're using on that transmission yet? Have you seen the internals? Or no?
Well, I've actually rebuilt one to tell you the truth about it, and
Okay.
we're actually trying to look at making some adjustments and trying to make it a whole lot lighter. But that would take massive programming on the other side, because a lot of what they're doing now is programming some of that slip into the through the transmission instead of the torque converter.
Okay.
Programming and stuff. So it's going to be a big change.
Learning curve.
Yeah.
Toying with the idea. I have Ray, do you remember the old 1988 Lincoln Mark 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually toying with the idea of putting that Godzilla motor in there.
Oh, great. That's a nice looking car. That's a good car.
I don't know if mine's nice looking. I mean, the body straight is all get out and stuff. But I got the midnight blue with the white vinyl top.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Perfect sleeper. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
Nice.
The only thing missing would be a leisure suit, huh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, get out with polyester on.
Yeah.
I still don't know if I can do that. So.
Right.
Hey, it might be coming back. You never know. Yeah,
I don't know about
dust
that.
it off.
We'll see Nehru jackets first.
Yeah, you don't want to wear the pants, man. You catch on fire if you walk too fast.
Yeah, right.
That'd be funny, man. But yeah, man, that they changed a lot of the playing game in that torque converter. It's got a really strong overdrive system. And I think that they've highly improved torque multiplication and how they've set up the turbine and how it's going to be pushing and getting that output as far as that goes. They've done a lot of good with that and made a big deep strides from there, and a lot of fluid's going to be pumping through it. So
Yeah.
It's as far as the overall transfer of power, it's going to be pretty awesome.
This is what I like to, this is what I like to see when a guy like you in the aftermarket gets a hold of something that the factory came out with and then dissects it, autopsies it, and then re-engineers it. That's the essence of hot rodding. I mean, that's what's been going on since day one. That's great.
If you don't get in there and play and change things, you'll never know.
Yeah. I mean, I think now, my impression is now the factory's doing a hell of a lot better job than they did back, 40 years ago. I think their paradigm of how and what they build is different, and engineering has come into a bigger play. And so we're getting a better product. When you're seeing 700-800 horsepower cars right off the showroom floor, I mean, that's speaking volumes right there.
Yeah, really is.
Yeah, and for the amount of product, I mean, look at all the Dodge SRTs that's flying off the shelf. I don't know where everybody's getting this money. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing, man. You're at $70,000 right off the bat.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but they can't make enough of them. So it's hard to come across them anymore on the deal.
And I'm looking at the Honda Civic Sport that's a really cool little hatchback with a 6-speed. That's like, it's a killer car to drive, and it's like $23,000. You know,
Isn't that turbo?
they make it a couple different ways. Depends on which engine you spec out. Yeah. We have one at the shop that the guy's been working on, and so I got to see it a little bit. And it's nice little car, really nice.
Yeah.
Good on gas too, huh?
Yeah. I mean, just to compare it to like an SR T8, I mean, like $23,000 to $70,000. You know, and it just goes to show me. You know, that's the thing. I always liked small cars. I like big cars. Like everything. Like them all.
In between.
You can have fun in almost anything if you know how to do it.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if you're into efficiencies and stuff like that, but I'm still driving my Passat TDI.
Oh yeah.
I liked it so much. I actually turned around and bought a second one. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what people do.
these cars are. No, I literally own 2 of them right now.
I just I have a milestone. I just turned 100,000 miles on my Mazda 3 today. I think it's the only car I've ever put that many miles on. or like my wife says, that you know about. I'm like, well, yeah, because we haven't paid attention to it, but
Yeah, that's great, man.
And she was asking me, like, what did this car cost to own? And I said, it's an 06. I said, basically, I've done all the maintenance on it since it's new, and that consists of oil changes, a couple of brake jobs, a couple of sets of tires, struts, some sway bar links. That's it. Nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. So I said, yeah, it's been very cheap to own.
Well, I bought a 2002 Grand Am. I paid $1,000 for it. I drove it for 6 years. I put struts on it and brake lines. So I think I got my money out. Oh, I put a remote start in it too.
And did you sell it? Did you sell it for like $2,000?
No, it's still out in the driveway.
Oh, you still have it? Okay, yeah. Cars like that, I tell you, it's. I've never looked at vehicle ownership that way. I just bought what I needed to buy, drove what I needed to drive, and who cared? Sometimes you take a loss, sometimes you don't. I've never looked at it from the economies of scale side, but it's nice to know that there are cars out there now that you can drive and not be underwater on.
Yeah, I figured if it break down, I'll throw a match in it and call a cab.
Yeah,
or call Uber.
Right, exactly.
Get an Uber home.
Yeah, just got to stay away from insulation trucks.
Yeah, John. Did you get it back yet, John?
Supposed to be tomorrow. I don't know though. They didn't call it today.
Nelson, did you hear the story about John's truck?
No, man. What's up with that?
He had a leak in it. He had a leak, so he used some of that spray foam to fix it.
And he started from the outside.
Encased it in a cocoon.
Go ahead, John. Tell him the story.
I was driving on the highway, and the guy in the lane next to me hit a case of that spray foam that you use to fill holes in walls and stuff, expanding foam.
Yeah.
And it expanded all over all over my truck.
Brand new truck.
$11,000 worth of parts replacement and repaint.
Wow.
On a 3-month-old truck.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'd be livid, man. I would have made the insurance. Get me
They did. Yeah, I filed insurance. I didn't have to pay anything.
Yeah.
It's not my problem. It's their problem.
Right.
But
Hey, did you find out about
a brand new
Carfax?
truck, No, I didn't find out about that yet.
Yeah, that's a good question.
We'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
that's gonna suck, man, if they put it on Carfax.
I know.
Not that it was a accident or anything like that, or like a wreck. So
Right.
maybe, I don't know, maybe it won't matter.
I don't know. We'll see. Well, I'll have that truck for a while. I usually keep stuff like, 5 years and then move on.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I'm kind of anxious to get it back. I'm tired of driving this 1500 they gave me.
Little
Yeah.
kid truck, huh?
Yeah, it is. Even though it's a brand new one, it's a 2020, but it's not loaded like mine, and it's just different.
Yeah, the
got
average
that-
guy truck.
It's got that V6. No, it's got that V6 that shuts off when you pull up to a stoplight.
I'm scared of that, man.
Feature.
I'll tell you,
There's a button you can shut it off. I shut it off, but it's
I was
still
I was at the other shop that the guys have, and they're working on a Ram, and I've seen those, worked on a bunch of them, And the guy opens the hood, and I happened to look in and said, "Wait a minute, what happened? What?" It had the V6 in it. You could put a whole nother engine between the front of that engine and the radiator. It is
tiny.
so small. Yeah,
But it's powerful.
that's the base engine. Yeah.
I mean, I whomped on this thing a couple of times, and it's got some pull.
I think they said this guy got a lease deal on that with the V6, the base truck, for like, I don't know, just over $100-something a month, $120 a month. Like they're giving them away up here. They want, they're all over the place.
Are they turbo?
No.
No, it's not a turbo. No,
It's an
it's just-
8-speed, isn't it?
yeah,
Oh,
that tachometer bounces back and forth quite a few times.
Yeah.
So yeah,
The Cruise does that too.
It's got a lot of gears.
When I drive it, it does. My wife drives it, it doesn't.
I had to go pick up a pallet of salt the other day, Monday. So we did the usual deal all the way at the back of the truck. And believe it or not, the weight carrying capacity of the pallet of salt all the way at the back of the bed is better on the Toyota than it was on the Chevy.
Really? Okay.
I drove about 35 miles with the rear end banging against the chassis the whole time,
Wow.
and the front end dangling in the air.
How much weight was that?
It's 24 boxes at 60 pounds a box plus a wood pallet.
Okay.
It's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And it's all the way at the back.
Wow.
Yeah. It's more than the truck should be handling.
Yeah.
I think Toyota overcompensated because they wanted to make a statement. So I think they did that for the who would buy a Toyota for a work truck? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I had two of them, and they were both real good trucks. Not a problem.
Yeah.
But it's like a 1500, and when you drop that pallet in the back, which is something I have to do literally every month, because that's how much salt we go through.
Yeah.
I was banging against the snubbers, and the front end's dangling, and it's not good.
You're like just over 1,400 pounds with that. 1,440.
Yeah, and it's all the way. It's literally behind the wheels.
It's at the fulcrum. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like putting the wrong kind of trailer on the hitch.
It's or loading your trailer in the wrong spot. Yeah.
It's way too much.
Tongue weight.
Way too much tongue weight. So
yeah.
That's why I stepped up to a 2,500.
Right.
And I don't know. The GMC just looks like a bad boy's truck.
Why not move the salt further forward towards the cab?
If I had extended forks at my shop, then that would be
you
something
can't get it off.
I would do. But neither my dealer or I have extended forks on the forklift.
Okay.
So, and you're literally, you roll that thing in and you're putting the forklift up against the tailgate.
Yeah.
And you drop it, and then you got to back out and grab the edge of the pallet and shove it in another 8 or 10 inches.
Yeah.
Drop it. And the same thing, coming out. But the one pallet that I picked up with the 2,500, the truck basically laughed at it. I swear to God, the truck went down about that much.
Wow.
And my dealer was like, ha ha. He goes, "You want two?"
Yeah.
All right,
Nice.
we're good. So yeah, it's a huge difference between a 1,500 chassis and rear suspension and 2,500, and then you can go to the 3,500, and if you get into like the Fords and stuff, you go with a 450, a 550. You can get crazy.
Yeah. So what's up with the Camaro? It's been quiet this week.
Oh, it's freaking coming along good. I'm going to be working on it this weekend. Probably Sunday.
It's looking.
I'm going to see Lou's down here for a Carlisle car show.
Okay.
So I'm going to see him Saturday. I got the firewall, the carbon fiber firewalls fitted on. And there's somebody poked a hole in the firewall, like some ugly looking thing that I got to plate it from behind and weld it.
Yeah.
And I'll probably have to put a little bit of that. I bought that Bondo that's got the fiberglass mixed in with it.
Door glass?
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
it's good
kind
stuff.
of fill that in, sand it down, make it look good, and then spray that area with that bed liner that we're using.
Yeah.
and next weekend putting the motor and transmission in the car.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it off this weekend. I'm gonna take it off the rotisserie permanently.
Nice. You're getting there.
Yeah. I want it out of here next month.
Right.
So rear end is in. All the front suspension's completely done. I even did a wheel alignment,
Oh, wow.
which is pretty awesome. Alston gives you all the specs that they want to see, and believe it or not, you do the toe in with. I mean, I'll redo it once it's on the ground, but
Yeah, you need to wait.
well, they give you stand-ins to to replace the coilover.
Oh, yeah.
A ride height.
Right, I've seen that.
So they give you, your assumed ride height, and you take 3/4-inch conduit, and you cut it to the length that matches the diameter of your tire, and you drill a hole in it, and you literally bolt it to where the caliper would bolt up. And then you measure at the back and measure at the front, and you mess with your tie rods, and you actually do your toe in, and you use your digital level to do your caster and your camber. And it's nice because their upper control arms have left hand, right hand, kind of like the thing you see on a ladder bar.
Yeah.
And you got 2 jam nuts that are loose. You just take your 1 1/16 wrench and you just crank one way or the other, and you get all your stuff set up, and then you lock up the nuts, and you're ready to go.
It's nice when the stuff is new, man. Oh, it's so nice when those parts are new.
Now, that system seems pretty thorough. How expensive is it?
Oh God, their front frame with the suspension and a power rack and brakes, it's close to $8,000.
Yeah,
it's not cheap. It's not inexpensive.
Well, I mean, but it don't sound bad for what you're getting, because every time you mention it, you tell us something else that really makes the difference.
Well, you're getting a completely fabricated bolt-in front frame. They make them for all the different styles. This one happens to be Camaro, so 67 to 69 F-body Camaro Firebird.
Yeah,
it literally replaces that big, ugly stock frame, which on a 67 to 69 is a rear steer, which is just real old school technology.
Yeah, this is front.
Right, and the 67s to 69s had horrible camber issues.
Bump steer.
You see them at the drag strip. Somebody with a stock front end. The wheels camber out at the bottom. They camber in at the top. They get toe. You'll see the wheels fluttering. Coming down from a wheel stand. This uses fabricated Mustang 2 stuff that they use. It's a forged spindle. It's not it's no junkyard parts or replacement parts. It's a tubular upper and lower control arm. It's got spherical rod ends. It's got nice urethane rod ends with a solid bushing in them. Screw in ball joints. It's a brand new power 3-turn rack and pinion. It's all good stuff. And let me tell you something. It fits. You put it in, it goes right in. Very easy to get it lined up.
Yeah.
Really nice subframe connectors. There's a mid-frame X that includes your drive shaft loop. They have tubular transmission mounts for every transmission you can think of. And they have every kind of motor mount you can think of. You could go with a stock, cradle. You can go with motor plate, mid plate. Tell them you got an LS, they got a mount. You tell them you're putting a big block, they got a mount. A small block, they got a mount. It's 6-cylinder, 409. They have everything.
Well, you got to realize, born out of the race world, the guys, they were racers, so they built what they needed for themselves, and then made a business out of it. And this stuff is no joke. So you're definitely getting what you pay for.
Oh yeah. Chris was the smart one in terms of CNC stuff and knowing how to design things, CAD CAM. So his stuff it's great, Yeah. But when you buy the kit, you get everything. You don't have to buy anything. You get every bit of hardware. You get brakes from Willwood, and it's big rotors too. It's 13-inch rotors in the front.
Beautiful stuff.
Yeah,
You know, that's the
that
thing.
looks
People
nice.
people ask all the time about doing that. You know, piecemealing and you know, I can make the argument both ways, but I say with something like this, when you go with a system based product, you have support based on the system. And like I said, they partnered with Willwood, so again,
Yes.
they didn't go with any Johnny Nobody. They went with a big company, so there's support there. You know, at a phone call, you get whatever you want.
Well, here's another thing too: the stress level of trying to match stuff up. That's
Right.
all there. You know what I mean? That by itself is worth $2,000. You know what I mean?
Well, like John
Yeah.
said, this stuff has been tried, true, tested, sold. Thousands of people have bought it. All the bugs have worked out. It's like gonna work. You know?
Everything is very, very precise. You know, I mean, through the years, my years of doing all kinds of race car stuff, almost all the time we have to wind up using these really, really thin aircraft style shims on the calipers to get the caliper centered over the rotor, so you're not dragging a brake pad. This, not with this.
Yeah.
There's there's an adapter that bolts to the spindle, and then you got this really large 4-piston caliper that bolts directly to the adapter, and it's dead center. No shims anywhere. You just put the bolts in and it's done.
That's because the adapter was designed with the caliper in mind, and the spindle and everything was in one place when they took their measurements.
Right.
Yeah. Now, see, as I'm getting older, I'm starting to think a little different. Where before, when I was younger, I'd be like, "Oh man, I'll buy my own pieces and I'll make it and blah blah blah." But then you're out in the driveway till 1 o'clock in the morning and it's still not on. You know what I mean?
That's a good reason to have cold pizza, because by that point it's like, yeah, give me that slice. What the hell?
Yeah. So man, as I get older, I'm like, man, I'm going to buy it and bolt it on and leave.
No, I've been very impressed with the whole system. They give you a really, really good installation book that takes you from one end to the other, and inside almost every single box is an instruction booklet for that specific piece. So I literally have that redundancy of their master book.
Yeah.
Each individual component.
That's what happened with the when I bought my vintage air system. There was a manual, and then each subsystem, each part of that system had its own sheets of paper. So there was that redundancy, and it all played together. And it was like so easy, and it was a joy to work with a system like that because,
Now, do we have a personal connection with that company? I'd like to get them on the show.
No, we can call them up though.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, if you give me the information, I'd like to get them on.
Forward you the info. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris is a good guy. He's a really good guy.
Cool.
All right, that's all.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with what you're saying. You're selling it.
Oh yeah, and it's got we did the mini tub rear and their fabricated 9-inch housing and canted 4-link in order to put really big tires in the back without moving the frame. You notch a section out of the frame, you put a larger tub, and his whole suspension system, same thing. Real heavy duty, replaces the leaf springs, got double adjustable coilovers, and it was real straightforward. The instruction sheet tells you exactly where to go. The good thing is you're hacking away a stock chassis rail. You're cutting it in order to make room, and then he gives you laser cut pieces that are going to replace what you cut away. So you're narrowing the frame rail itself, but then you're putting metal back in it. So you're boxing it back in so the strength is there. But he literally gives you laser cut templates that are made exactly like the contour of the rail. Yeah. And you lay it on the rail, and then you trace the other side, and that's where you cut with your plasma cutter.
I was going to say, Lewis, these guys, and just
pre-engineered.
To put it in perspective, I have an Alston decal on one of my toolboxes. It's been there for 40 years. These guys aren't new on the block. They've been doing this a long.
Same decal.
Yeah, it's the red and white one.
Red and white one.
That's right. Yeah. And the other thing, I was just watching. I was just watching one of the YouTube videos from Doug from Global West, because I have a lot of his parts in my car. Same thing. They showed the chassis rail connectors for same thing for an F body, and the same exact thing. They're all doing the same thing, and he showed that process of laying up the template and tracing it and then cutting it. And he basically says it without saying it, but like, if you have some mechanical skills and you're not a total freaking idiot, you can do this because this is how easy we made it. And they're right.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Good stuff. Real good stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Nelson, I have a question. I put it into the queue. I see a lot of these all-out drag racing transmissions. These guys are using what they call a dump valve. What is that doing actually?
On the transmission, what it is it's a release of pressure, and they're kind of using it like a transfer.
Okay.
And some of these guys, I mean, if it's what I'm thinking it is, maybe I might be doing something wrong with it. There's a dump valve inside the transmission that's, setting it up to where it would give it that exact burst of power coming out.
Okay.
And it's all like hydraulic power, so it's pretty stout.
Right.
A little bit.
I've I haven't really researched it, but I've seen some little blips here and there about a converter dump valve, and I was just trying to figure out what it is that they're doing, with that dump valve. Where I'm assuming that the fluid it's coming from somewhere, and I'm assuming it's going right back into the pan. But I'm just wondering what it is that they are doing. I understand how a trans brake works, where it's basically putting the transmission in first then reverse at the same time. So you're equalizing the pressure. Now the converter can spin to stall speed, and then when you let go of the button, it takes off. But I'm a little confused on what this dump valve does.
Yeah, I mean, as far as inside the torque converter, I mean, we're taking the turbine and completely sealing. Okay, we actually use a lot of people use MIG TIG guns, and we use MIG, but we're using specialty equipment to achieve the same, if not quite a bit stronger welds on a turbine, and being able to fit something without blowing through the thin metal. And so what we're doing is we're allowing that to capture the fluid all the way around in that, basically making the back of the turbine a solid piece. Okay, and it may add a little bit of weight to the converter, but there's actual weak points all throughout the turbine, and the turbine which actually drives the car. So if you could set that up and go solid sprag, I mean, you're talking about being able to hook up 3,000 plus to 4,000 horsepower.
Wow.
I mean, we got guys that are, alcohol blown cars that are pulling 30, 36 pounds of boost out of the hole.
Wow.
I mean, these guys got huge tires, man. And it's all about repeatability and just, making sure everything's extremely lined up. As far as inside the torque converter with a dump valve, I mean, there's not one.
Yeah.
But it's in the transmission, and it's basically a pressure relief valve.
Cool.
That's it, and I haven't dealt with it personally much because mine's on the other side. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Very good.
Some other stuff with that, but
yeah, you see that all the time. Like I'm roaming around on like Racing Junk or some of these other classifieds for drag car stuff. You see these transmissions, it's a dump valve transmission.
I've been looking through drum sites, man. I'm looking at these Ludwig snares now, like a Black Beauty snare. I'm like, oh Jesus, can I mortgage my house? Like, some of this stuff is crazy.
I have one of the chrome steel ones. What's that?
Yeah. Well, the
Superphonic.
The Superphonic, yeah. The Black Beauty is brass. It's nickel over brass. It's got that black look to it. Good called Black Beauty. With the Imperial lugs, there's like 10 Imperial lugs on the thing. Yeah. One piece drawn brass. Tim Allen, just beautiful.
Yeah, I have the Superphonic, and I have a 5.5 by 14 maple.
Yeah, these are like 6.5 by 14. Yeah. And the video I was just watching, the guy had it tuned so tight, just the way I like. It's like marching band tight. Like, oh my God. Okay, we're a little early. We started.
Hey Nelson, you're going to say something?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's one thing that's, man, I keep hearing new and outcoming buzzwords, and they're just trying to put a different spin on a lot of things that are different verbiage or whatnot. I mean, it's either hardcore or it's not. We have the capability of doing billet front covers. We're probably going to be introducing some of those this year. Just for the mere fact, so many people want them. And, frankly, I don't like them, and we've engineered our front covers. I believe you've had, I don't know if you remember Terry Wilson, his SS Trailblazer is alive, and he's been driving it. But the reason why we try to stay off of that is some of those billet front covers weigh, just the front cover itself without anything else, weigh as much as my whole torque converter weighs.
Wow.
And yes, if you have the technology and can build it, with the welding that we do, it's so super hot. I don't know if you checked out our Facebook recently, but we've just actually put up a post where, we're welding on our anti-balloon plate. And we actually show it, and it's at 2,700 degrees. So it's a very, very, very hot weld in what we're doing. And by doing and engineering it, we're making these things super light. I mentioned Terry Wilson, Colorman 6.6, because he's got a 4L65, or his is a 4L70 actually, because it's in that Trailblazer. He changed his all-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive, and with a locked-up torque converter and the piston and the converter, it only weighed 25 pounds.
Oh boy.
Now, if you were to compare that to the Yank torque converter that weighs 54 pounds, it may be 52, excuse me. But you're talking about removing well over 24 pounds of rotating mass.
Sure.
I mean, what is that good for? We've actually measured it out to about 71 rear wheel horsepower.
Wow.
So, Mark, in 2020, 50 years in business, there's going to be a lot of buzzwords, a lot of things. I'm seeing no prep, this, that, and the other. And,
That's the flavor of the week.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what? That's the kind of heads up, arm dropping kind of stuff that it's, it's racing, it's just a different thing. You can't intimidate the lights. I'm saying,
No.
You can't judge the lights. So it's just a surprise whenever it comes.
That's it.
Like that,
JJ.
So,
Yeah.
JJ chases a race.
Yep.
We did that.
So,
Going on 2 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's got a funny style too.
He's good. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he seems it.
He's awesome. This whole group, they treated us really well when we went there. We looked like a bunch of fools. New York guys were not ready for that.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do?
Sounds like the debate last night.
Oh my God! Don't even go there.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I had to watch it. I never watched. I just had to see if it was true. And man,
My only statement is, I believe they have killed the mayor's campaign.
Yeah.
They ganged up on that guy.
Yeah, they were on him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So,
Then again, on talk radio today in New York, they were saying, how cagey he is and how they feel he may have just been being the new guy on the block, just kind of laying back, because he was laying back. He's not a confrontational guy. He's a businessman. He'll get you in the boardroom. He's not going to get you on the street. And they feel that, in the subsequent events to come up, that things may change a little. But he's not a confrontational guy.
in the after show, we'll talk about how I was listening to a talk radio station with a clinical psychologist.
Oh, cool.
That is able to, that knows him and was able to read what goes on with him.
That must have been
And
fantastic.
she predicted that he was going to have a burnout last night, and it came true.
Okay.
So yeah,
Played it cool.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah. He suffers from some complexes.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
We all do.
Hey Nelson, what's your website so people know where to go check you out?
Yeah, our website is actually accperformance.com and also bosshogtorqueconverters.com. So
Speaking of
we're
Boss
actually,
Hog, I have to take a photo and send it to you.
Yeah.
There's a local AM station here called Boss Hog Radio,
Oh, cool.
and their line on the bottom is all music, no crap.
That's great.
And they have billboards everywhere.
That's great.
Yeah, I got to take a photo. I'll send it to
Is
you.
that a new deal? They've been around for a while.
Yeah, they've been around for a while. I just happened to notice, and I'm like, check that out, Boss Hog Radio.
Cool.
Okay, I'll put the website in the chat room if anybody wants to check it out. And you can check them out on Facebook too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just signed up a Twitter account and also an Instagram. We're just now stepping into the 20th century, even though it's already been here for quite some time.
Well,
Hey, it's still room to grow.
as someone who I consider myself new to it too, I've been doing it for about a year and a half or so. I'm curious to see what your impressions are after you've used both platforms for a while, because I definitely developed my impressions of them. But I think it's different for everybody. It really is.
It really is. It's a everybody has a different twist. So each platform does something different. You know what I mean? So it all depends on how you want to get at it.
Right.
Let me ask you guys, just a direct business question, guys. Seriously, and I want everybody to weigh in on this, and later when they view it, I'm still interested. To me, to be a successful business, it's who you partner with, like Louis Lee, Lou Santiago, Ray, you guys, and stuff. You're only as strong as the people you surround yourself with. If I didn't have good employees, if I didn't have good people, which you met some of them, Lou, at the SEMA show, and
Right.
I had Craig and Michael there, and just super great people, and if I didn't have those people to stand on, I would definitely be struggling a little bit more. But every time we expand, I've got great people with me, and is it more? What should my posts be about? What do people want to see? They want to see
Everything.
the engineering. They still want to see us, making that lathe machine sing like a mother. The fact that we have a CNC machine that my daughter actually can turn on and run it.
All of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say all of that, because you might get somebody that's in CNC and don't do anything with cars, but they see what you're doing with that. And somebody might see, something else, and they say, "Hey, I was watching a guy CNC machine, and he's doing these torque converters, and my buddy over here has a shop that needs a torque." You know what I mean? It all that kind of stuff rolls together. So much stuff you can put it on.
It's even better than that, Nelson. It's intuitive, because as you watch people's feeds, the platforms will show you other people who are doing similar things, or they'll say to me, "Hey, listen, because you follow Chassis John follows this guy, so check this guy out." And then of course it's up to you to do it. But I'm constantly seeing, and YouTube too is doing that. My YouTube account is growing so freaking big. The stuff that I'm watching, because they keep showing me other people. It's like a big pyramid.
Right.
Yeah.
It just grows and grows.
I think my subscription is like 70 different people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm around there too. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really branches out. Because while you're watching one video, they have 10 videos on the side,
Right.
and it leads you over there. Before you know it, you're like,
Yeah.
"Well, how did I get here?"
Yeah.
It happens to me all the time.
That
I'll
is sometimes
go on Facebook, and then somebody will post a link to
Right.
a video, and I wind up on YouTube, and maybe it's car related.
Mhm.
But then on the other side, that side panel, it's
It's
going to
kittens.
be it's going to be stuff that's related to not only this video that I just saw, but things that I follow.
Right.
So, you know, I may be watching something to do with a car, and then there's a thing
A tool.
about CNC machinery,
Right.
or there's a thing about
Yep.
drums or Zildjian
Exactly.
cymbals.
You-
It's just this hodgepodge of
Yeah.
a billion different things.
It really is like a book, like a bookmark or a footprint of your life. If you look at it, it's everything that you're into.
Sure.
Yep.
So, like, don't let your wife watch it because she'll know all the shit you're into, and you'll be in trouble. But no, Nelson, the other thing that you're gonna find that I found really, really interesting was who follows you. Like, I posted through the years, I'll post stuff about carburetors because I still rebuild them for people. And I got this guy in like South America somewhere, Carburetor Dawes is his name, and he followed me right away. I'm like, how'd this guy find me? You know, now every time I put something up like that, bang, he's there liking it.
Yep.
Like, where'd this guy come from? I don't know
Yeah.
how he found me. So it's just the network just grows, and that's cool because you'll see people that you never knew you had access to.
Yeah. I have people from all around the world that
Yeah.
follow my aquarium company page, and then the chassis stuff I post, and I'm only on Facebook, but
Mhm.
people are finding me, you know. And then like one thing leads to another, and last week I got a phone call. I showed you the dragster that we built
Right.
back
Right.
in 1997.
Yeah.
And this guy bought this car. This is a car that went from Long Island to Puerto Rico, came back to the mainland. I don't know how many other owners that it's had through the years, but now the newest owner found me and got in touch with me to
Well,
ask questions about this car.
Just so you know, Instagram is owned by Facebook.
Yeah.
So when you post on Instagram, you can automatically cross-post to Facebook, which is nice.
All right.
Twitter is not. So if you post on Twitter and if you want it, well, if it goes the other way, let's send a link, which is kind of frustrating. That's what pisses me off about Twitter. But yeah, whatever.
We're also on LinkedIn, except for it's just under my name, under Nelson. Gill.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
you
on
can link-
LinkedIn too.
You can link your
30,000
LinkedIn
on LinkedIn.
personal page to your business page.
Mm.
So you can create a business page and it will connect to your personal
Okay.
Right.
and LinkedIn. Yep.
I have a
Nelson, let me
LinkedIn
ask you
account.
this.
I get a million people asking to join, and half of them aren't even related to the business.
Right, exactly.
It's kind of spammy.
I get that all the time.
Yeah.
Nelson, how did you find Planning Traffic?
Well, I want to say that it was through Lou Santiago, and just going back, you know, it was. I believe I saw a post on Facebook and just kind of linked the two, and started watching it, and then I got a phone call from him. So I mean, it all happened really quick. I mean, I watched 2 shows, and you know, it just kind of reached out from there. I mean, it's the same thing, networking.
Yeah. See, you know, I was posting the stuff on Lou's site and his social media stuff, and you know, we've gotten people from all over the world. You know,
Yeah.
Germany, you know, Africa, everywhere. It's
I
crazy.
got it from your business card when I ran into you and Lou at PRI.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. When you guys were walking down the sidewalk by where they had all the trailers, the race car trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife was inside. She was on the phone, and I saw Lou, and I'm like, "Oh my God, that's the guy that does that TV show near me."
You heard him laughing, didn't you?
Yeah.
I ran
I'm
outside.
You know, it was a lot
that day
easier.
that I met you guys is you gave me a business card, and you were like, "Check us out Thursday nights. Come on." I'm like,
Actually,
"All right,
you know,
cool."
it was a lot easier for me. I was scouting Lou. I was trying to get him for the radio show, and I'm looking online, and he really didn't have a lot of presence at the time.
Right.
But I found his LinkedIn page. Like, now you know Lou, now you know how funny it is to try and get him that way. But I actually sent him a message on his LinkedIn account, and you know, and he just like, and I gave, I'm pretty concise with that. If I give someone a message, I give them my contact information. Here's my email addresses, my phone number. Make it easy on the guy to get back to you. So he calls me. He's like, Ray, what's up? I never talked to the guy in my life. You know, I'm like, hey, Lou, what's going on? Oh, you
It's
got
like
me
you've
on
known him forever.
yeah, I never used that freaking thing. You're lucky I checked it. I'm like, yeah. He goes, so he kind of grabbed my hand and says, Wednesday night, come on a plane in traffic. You know about electric, right? Like, yeah, I do. He goes, good. We need somebody who knows about electric. Come on. I'm like, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all about
I tell you-
connections. No matter how you do it, it's
Yeah.
all about just making a connection.
Yeah.
You never know who you're going to connect with, and that's what's great about the internet. I mean, you can run into somebody from anywhere.
Sure.
It's crazy.
Hey, an old
Yeah.
girlfriend from
We
45 years ago
we
found
had
me
a pretty
too.
global day today. We had a pretty global day today. We've had people from Australia, Sweden, London, calling in and matching up stall converters for them. And
Wow.
Yeah.
Again, if it wasn't for the internet, man, I mean, we're actually present in 14 different countries now.
That's
Nice.
Cool.
It's just expanding. We're all over the South America, Brazil, and Puerto Rico, and New Zealand. I just go on and on. So,
is it because what they have available in their own countries is so limited or poor, or yours is just so much better, and that they would go out of the country to do their shopping?
well, some of it is just it's limited to OEM replacement, and again, they hear from us and stuff, and they see people who's doing it. I mean, it's kind of like when you got Street Outlaw guys or the Pinks All Out Live. They got a bunch of great guys, and they'll see my stickers running on their cars, and they'll give me a call, and they're like, "Hey, I saw George Rubistello, man," and they're all about it. They're interested. They want to know what's up. And that's what's cool. Where we've been a little bit quiet is, we do manufacture torque converters for other companies. I kind of leave it at that, but we do make them for let's just say we're all over the United States too. So we're represented pretty damn strong.
Good.
Very
Good.
Yeah, that's the thing. If a racer sees a sticker on another racer's car, it's like anybody in any subgroup, that guy's using something good. You can trust that recommendation. So, in the word spread.
Especially if they're winning.
Yeah, if he's beating you, yeah, you want to know what the hell he's
You're like, yeah, what do you got under there?
Yep. If
We've
they're
even had
kicking
guys
butt,
that
it's good stuff.
stop by. Yeah, we've had guys stop by at SEMA and stuff and say they've had our parts in there since for 20 years. And
Wow.
I'm like, that's a good thing, but if it's not broken, you don't need to fix it.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
pretty cool.
Or like the sticker I have on my cabinet at work, it says government policy. If it ain't broke, fix it till it is.
That's true. Very true.
And somebody tried stealing it off the cabinet. One of the guys, like one of the maintenance guys at night, actually tried stealing it, but he couldn't get it off. He started ripping it, so he left it where it was. Like, you bastard.
You got to put an alarm on your box.
No doubt. Well, that's cool. So we'll try to get everything. I want to get a little bit more engineering in it, but we got some great people in here. Matter of fact, I mean, it seems like the longer we're going at it, the better quality people we've got coming in addition, to the, Craig and, Tyler, man, he's an amazing welder now. He's never welded before he came into our shop, man. And this guy's
Wow.
got heart. We have such a cohesive team. It's more like joining a family,
Yeah.
breaking bread. I've got people that have been there a couple of weeks, and the attention to detail my guys put into each individual piece. I just, it's proud to make me say that, I've been able to do this and stay involved and grow, with you guys. And, I don't know, it's just, it's getting to a humbling point, in my career with all the stuff we got going on, and my family and my wife and my daughter Eleanor, Kevin Otis. He was the host out there at SEMA. He said he loved that I talked to her and stuff, and out there at SEMA in 2020, and Ed Beard, he's actually going to be our featured vehicle for 2020 SEMA show.
Cool.
So just you can check that out on the Boss Hog page, for ACC Performance, and
On Facebook?
Video about a 74 Dodge, I think it is. And this thing's an aircraft carrier. It's huge. You've got to see that thing. Like an extended cab and an extended rear as well.
Oh gosh.
So I don't remember ever seeing anything that long. So yeah, he's down in Florida right now, I believe. He's down there with you.
Yeah.
John. So
Oh yeah.
check out that video on the Boss
I will.
Hog group.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. If you got to really look at Ed's work up close, I mean, it's just incredible. Ed is no joke. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some better glasses than what I have now just to keep up with all the detail in this stuff. Man, it's just amazing.
Yeah, it really is. I wait a minute. I keep one in every room.
I got them everywhere.
That's
Um,
the things right there, man. I keep them with me.
Yeah, I
You
can't
know-
wait to get some paint on my trunk lid so I can send it to Ed because he's gonna do the mirror on the trunk. And I've been so busy and other stuff's hitting me, I can't get it to get it ready to ship to him. But man, it's gonna be tough.
You know, Nelson, I'll tell you a funny story about the eyeglass tether. I wanted a pair. I wanted one of those years ago, for my reading glasses. And I asked my wife, like, when you go to CVS, pick me up. She usually mean like a librarian's chain. I was like, no, just get a black one. She's like giving me all sorts of crap over it. And she didn't want to do it. She goes, I don't want you walking around with glasses hanging around your neck. All right. I said, but it's really, it's going to be beneficial. So she wouldn't do it. So I took a piece of like rope, like cord. It was like, like a real gnarly cord. And I just tied it around and I put it, and she's like, Jethro, what's going on? I'm like, listen, I don't give a shit how I look. I said, I really don't care. You got to realize that. I said, I asked you to get me the real thing. And she goes, all right.
Fixed her, huh?
Because I don't care. I mean, I think I have no more.
All the time, man. So it's just like, you know what? I need something, with this machine and that machine, and it's something I'm gonna do. So,
You know what I found? I'm going to tell you. So I'll tell you. Let me see. I'm rooting through my drawer here because I should have a pair of them here. There's a company called Thin Optics, and I think I saw them online. And what they sell are reading glasses that there's no arms. It's just the lenses and a nose piece.
God.
Yeah,
I've seen those, yeah.
and
Yeah, I've seen those.
And I'll tell you something. What happens is I get under a dashboard of a car. I got my reading glasses, and I only need them to see, close up, so they're down on my nose. And you get under the dash and move your head back, and they flop back onto your forehead. I'm like, son of a bitch. Now, there you go. That's the position right there. So you're trying to do something, hold the light, and the glasses flop, and it's summer, and you're sweating. Well, these things just clip right over the bridge of your nose, and they never move because that's where they sit. So for under the dash work, if you have to move your head, these things are like perfect. And,
Sucks.
What was that movie that Steve Martin did when he
Jerk.
got those
Jerk.
things?
Oh yeah, where the eyes started crossing.
that was a jerk.
Yeah.
The Nosemobile.
I bought a pair. This was a couple years ago. I bought a pair of safety glasses, and they had the magnifying on the bottom. And I was so mad. I was like, man, I bought these glasses, and all I see is that. And I'm like, I was getting really mad. But a couple years later, I needed them. So now they're perfect. I love them. Eyes got bad.
Yeah. I have
Yeah,
to, when I weld, I got to wear my reading glasses.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I got a 2x magnifier lens behind my shield. Otherwise, forget about it.
I do. Yeah, I put the glasses on behind the shield. I always forget to do that.
I'm like this when I'm TIG welding. I'm on top of everything.
So now when I wear my safety glasses, if I don't have those ones on, I'm pissed because I can't see.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to order a whole bunch of them, put them everywhere.
These are my actual safety glasses. It was just easier for me because I don't like swapping stuff out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's disheartening because I used to have like
shop.
awesome vision.
Me too.
I still do. I still have
And far.
20/20 for distance. It's just, it's
Yeah, I can
close
see
up.
distance not a problem. I can
I used to read
basically anything
capacitors.
that's like 10 inches or further out. It's
Yeah.
all crystal clear.
I used to be able to read capacitors and small
Yeah.
electronic stuff. Bare-eyed guys like, how do you do that, man? Yeah. Well, I was 20, I guess.
I lost both, man. One day I was in my semi and I'm driving and I see this sign that I rode by like every day. And I'm like, man, my windows must be dirty. The sign's blurry. So I stop at the truck stop, clean the window, get back in. I'm like, it's still blurry. I'm like, something ain't right. It was my eyes going bad. And then 5 years, this is like when I was 38, 40, somewhere in there. Then the doctor,
That's all right. Power's out.
the boss like, time to go to bed.
You're done.
Nah, it just reflects. That's all.
So I go to the doctor's get glasses, right? And he goes, you need bifocals? I was like, no, I can see good up close. I'm telling you, 1 month later, I couldn't see up close.
Wow.
So now I'm mad because I didn't get the bifocals.
Yeah.
So now I got trifocals. All my glasses are like steps up.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, every year it gets worse.
Yeah.
And I used to have very good eyes, man. I used to, tease my friends. I'm like, man, I can see everything.
Yeah.
Not no more.
A few years ago, I noticed I couldn't see. I developed a cataract in my one eye, and then had that fixed, got a cataract in the other eye. And that's a killer, man, because that's like you said, you can't see shit. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't clean that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good thing is, the removal is so easy these days. It's
Yeah.
piece of cake.
That's cool. Well, fellas, I'm
Yep.
going to have to hit the road. I got to get up at 3 this morning and get on into work.
All right.
Hey, Nelson, we'll see you on social media.
Hey, don't be a stranger, Nelson. I can see when people pop in and out. So don't be a stranger.
Yeah, my daughter started karate, and she's a cheerleader, and she's also started Girl Scouts.
Oh, nice. All right, you're busy.
We're doing
Well-
everything, man. So,
Yeah.
Hey, that's the way to be. Hey, you have my address, so you can send cookies anytime.
Yeah.
matter of fact, I got a house full.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
All right,
it.
Nelson. Hey, I appreciate you coming on, man. And, we'll talk. I'm gonna try to get down your way in the spring. Try to come down, maybe take a tour.
If you need it.
Yeah. Me and my wife gonna do a lot of traveling this year, so I'm gonna try to head that way.
John,
For sure.
Beck, come on up. Come on down. Love to have
Okay.
you. And we'll
Yeah.
check you guys out later, man. Y'all have a great night, okay?
All right,
Okay,
Nelson.
Nelson.
Good night.
Thank you.
All right, we'll
Good
see you
talking.
guys. All right.
Yes, sirree.
Hey, did you see my new Trump
That
shirt?
room want to jump in?
I noticed the flag on the
I think
phone.
Ryan's
Oh, there you
still
go.
around.
I didn't know. I was trying to figure out the graph was. I couldn't see it. I saw the flag. Yep, that's cool.
Now watch.
Sweet. Where'd you get that?
My wife found it somewhere.
Oh,
Bought
man.
it for me for Valentine's Day.
That's cool. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian.
There he is.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Be spectacled.
Yeah, I sell all that stuff to make it easiest for us old guys to see.
Yeah, man. I'm probably going to have to order some safety glasses because
I
I'm
got
doing
them
a lot
on the truck, and hey, I tell you, I found those inserts for my welding. I don't have to wear my glasses anymore.
Oh yeah.
They sell an insert that goes in the lens on your welding. I don't actually. I left my welding thing out on the truck.
That's what I have, but it wasn't enough. So I
Huh?
still got to wear reading glasses.
Really? I got
Yeah.
all the way up to 3.0, I think.
Oh, I got a 2 in mine.
All right.
Yeah, I think the highest they go up to is 3.
Yeah.
So,
It's
yeah, we're
sorry.
having arts and crafts tonight, boys.
Oh,
What
boy.
are you doing?
I'm repairing flashlights.
Oh,
Okay.
Got some flashlights with some bad switches.
nice.
What I do to keep my boys happy because they got these ancient old lights and they don't like anything else new. We don't like change.
Yeah.
Can't have anything change on us.
So the important question that you just answered is you can get the parts for those older lights, which is the most important thing.
Well, I unfortunately
Keep all the old lights.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
keep all the old ones.
So
Yeah.
you use them for parts?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a limited life. I mean, at some point, the old ones are going to be just life cycle out.
Yeah, that's what I tell them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the next time you may say, "Hey, look, dude, sorry, I don't have the part," but you fixed it 3 times for me already. Like, yeah,
Yeah, usually, I mean, these are about like 2.5, 3 years. That's about the lifespan of a light.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't lose it, I wish they just lose it.
Yeah, leave it under the bottom of a car, right?
Yeah, but then somebody else always finds it and says, "Hey, do you have a charger for this light?"
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, Brian,
Yeah.
it's not just brand specific and it's not just regional. Because I was on the tool truck today, and I was commenting on all of the new lights, and the tool guy said, "Dude," he goes, "you can't believe how guys buy lights." He goes, "It's like I can have a light truck and I can keep me in business." He says, "You know, and everybody wants the new ones. You know, they want the newest and the best."
I sold 8 lights this week.
Wow, that's good.
It's crazy.
That's nice.
Well, I'm gonna tell you guys a story, and you're gonna see that my life always ends up this way. I buy a brand new light. This was a couple years ago, and I get home and I roll over the tip of it with the creeper and broke the little hook that you hook it on and stuff. So now I can't hook it to nothing. So I got to duct tape it on stuff. That's my life, guys.
Well, now they started making them with magnets so you can stick them, which
Yeah, we are all on ours. I don't have a new one here, but it comes with like 3 extra hooks.
Oh, cool.
So like if you break them, it comes like our lights come with replaceable lenses,
Nice.
hooks, and sometimes a magnet clip or whatever.
I saw something really cool at the shop last week. We have a retractable drop light. It's an old one. You know, it's a fluorescent one, but it's been there for years, and it had a hook on the end that it's like a ball mount. It popped out. I popped it back in. Somebody else popped it out. So I go into the shop one day and I noticed, like, hey, you know, and I used to just hook it onto the line for the lift. I noticed it wasn't there. I'm like, what's going on? Someone took the hook and they wrapped it around the handle end of a kneeling pad so they could hang the kneeling pad up. I was like, that's a long way to go, man, to hang the kneeling pad up. But it's shop ingenuity, right?
That's it.
Fabricating.
Yeah. It's like, geez.
But see, I got lights all over the place, flash lights.
Oh yeah.
Because if I got to go tactical, it's going to be on, man.
We all got them. They're everywhere.
I got
I know.
lights everywhere.
Yeah.
I got.
You can't shoot something you can't see.
Here.
Nice. Yeah, the high sun, nice.
This one.
Yeah.
Only because the little Matco light that I like so much is not magnetic. Do I have a snap-on that light that's magnetic? You know, sticking on my bedside lamp, so I could get it at a glance.
Yeah.
That's the one thing Matco didn't do was put a magnet on that light.
Guess what? The new one has it now, and the new ones are rechargeable.
Oh, cool.
I think you got the ones that were battery.
Yeah, I don't mind the batteries. You know, I don't mind the battery lights.
Yeah, it's always funny because we'll have a new light that comes out, and the guy was saying, "Oh, that's bad." I said, "Wait a month," and he's like, "Why?" I said, "Oh, this has got batteries." Oh, okay, I'll wait till rechargeable.
Yeah, I prefer batteries, truthfully.
My kids bought me one for Christmas a couple years ago. I think it's in my car, man. But this thing shoots a beam. I'm telling you, it looks like a car light.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's crazy.
Right.
Yep. Because they know I want to be Rambo one day, so they got me a tactical. I mean, it's a beast.
My wife overthought it. She thought she was being ahead of me, and she bought me a LED light for the garage and for Christmas. And I'm like, "Oh, this is great." She goes, "You don't look so thrilled." I'm like, "I got one outside already. It's like I've had one of these for a year." You know, it's like, she's like, "Ah, damn it, I can't surprise you." I'm like, "No, don't try to surprise me with tools. Just get what I asked for."
Yep, there you go.
I know what I need.
I tell you that the LED stuff is changing so fast.
Yeah.
Light wise, I mean, like I said, I guarantee like monthly we have new lights I mean, you can't even keep up with how many new lights there is.
Yeah.
What comes
Yeah.
out.
I mean, I'm not happy with I'm not a fan of the early stuff because it's really very, very directional. Whereas an incandescent bulb will light the area and the LED would just light what you were pointing it at.
Right.
You got to see a little to the side. You had to move the light. So the early ones,
Well, I bought one for my AR-15, and man, that thing shoots sideways. I'm blinding everything on that side of the street.
tactically, that's the thing to do. Yeah. Yeah. It's,
Oh, yeah.
The what are they, COB cob lights or
Yeah.
whatever?
Yeah.
That stuff is the ones that I sold this week, 750 lumens,
Mhm.
and we have a one that's 2600.
That's the one I like. Yeah.
the sun.
I want to go
That's
1,000 and up at least, especially
Yeah, it's
under a car.
crazy. I always the funny part is it's like I think it has like 2.5 hours run on high.
Yeah.
You know, so I always get this. It's always funny because I walk in and the guy will be like, "Man, I really love this light, but it doesn't last that long." And I'm like, "What do you mean it doesn't last that long?" He's like, "Well, I turned it on this morning and it's off." It's like he leaves it on under the car.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, it's been like 4 hours. I mean, it's not going to, the sun doesn't stay lit all day, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to charge it up? I said, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but yeah, you do.
That's a throwback to the corded drop light. You just plug it
Yeah.
in and walk away, you know?
Plug it in, walk away, and leave it.
So do you
I got-
have your Hawaiian shirt and board shorts picked out yet?
I'm doing a load of laundry right now.
Okay, cool.
I'm getting ready, man. I can't wait.
Expo. Now, you know,
After today and how crappy of a day it was,
You ready, huh?
man, I hope it goes by fast so I can get on a plane and fly out.
how does the company rationalize doing an expo during work days, though? Like you're away from your business for those days. How do they? What's their theory?
I don't know.
I bet you because they get a better rate on the convention hall.
I was
on
going
it.
to say that.
Yeah,
On a Monday.
and trust me, whatever it is, it's in their favor.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. It's got to be it.
But we've reached a point where we're big enough now, or we've grown where we've really outgrew a lot of places.
That's good.
So we're only limited
Vegas.
to like Vegas and down to like Orlando area.
Mhm.
Because we're actually in San Diego. We've taken over 3 hotels.
Nice.
You know, these are like the Grand Hyatts or whatever. You know what I'm saying? These aren't, little roadside places.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just that we've taken over, and it's very hard to keep everybody contained. I
Guys
hope,
on the loose.
yeah, well, I hope that we don't end up like what Snap-on does, because Snap-on actually does regions now.
Yeah.
And they'll have one group over here, one group, instead of having us all together, because we have everybody from North America and Canada.
Yeah.
We're all there, so there's a lot of people.
Speaking of that, the Snap-on guy just told me something today. We were just talking about accounts and clients and some of the deadbeats, and he was asking, about different shops because people are moving around. There was one guy he's been following. He goes, "Yeah, the guy, he's a tow truck driver." Because he moves around a lot. He goes, but he would find me on the road and stop me sometimes 2 or 3 times a week, and buy stuff and give me money, and so he was a good customer. He goes, now he's in the wind. The guy just disappeared on me.
Yeah.
He said, he goes, I saw him last week. He says, he doesn't know. I got a picture of him next to his car. So I got his face and his license plate in the same frame. And he goes, I'm sending it out to all the other Snap-on dealers. Like, as an APB. I'm like, wow, you guys got your own network. That's pretty cool, man. It's like alert.
Yeah.
There he is.
I have we have guys that work in the parking lots, and they'll rotate to different areas because they'll be in one space for so long, and then of course the county cops come in and run them off, because they're working in the parking lot. So they'll move over to the next town or district, and they'll be over there for a couple months. So I'll have a guy that owes me a couple $100. He's gone, and so I just get on our link And I just put them out there, and they say, "Oh yeah, that guy showed up last week, blah blah blah." And I said, "Well, he owes X amount," and they always they rotate because they get run out, you know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So they usually, you usually find them. I've
Yeah.
only, to be honest though, that's only for me. In the time that I've been in almost 20 years, I'm 18. I'm at 19 years now. It only comes out to be 1.5% of my business is skips.
That's what he was saying too. It's really he goes. The problem is it's a personal hit because these guys were customers and you had friendships.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's really not. It's not the
The bottom line is that when it happens to you, it could be like I had a guy just recently, and it was $1,200, and when it hits you, that's a hard hit because that's you've been collecting on that money, and and that collection's gone,
Mhm.
and he was paying me. He was actually paying. I have faith, or I hope that this guy is going to show up. I mean, most of those guys, especially my, to say it, my illegals, are way better than anybody else. 'Cause they don't want to have a problem.
Right.
Hmm.
And I had one shop that was raided from ICE, and 9 guys were packed up and sent back.
Man.
And that was a heavy hit because all 9 guys owed me anywhere from $500 to $1,000.
Well, they had to leave their tools, right?
Well, yeah, but the dirtball owner took all the tools.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Because his idea was that this guy owed me money because of either uniforms or he bought parts and didn't pay for them or whatever.
Yeah.
So he says, "Oh well, they took everything." I said, "Well, I know they didn't take everything."
Yeah.
And but ironically, over the years, it would be like 2-3 months later, there'll be a knock at my door, and there's a guy. "Hey, Mr. Brian, I'm sorry I owe you money. Here's your payment, or here's your money."
Okay. Gotta respect that. That's straight up.
And it's funny because I usually find out the guy that you worry about is the guy that's legal, but acts like he's illegal.
Oh.
He'll tell you that he doesn't have any social. He doesn't have a driver's license. He doesn't have all this stuff. But, of course, a little bit of detective work, you find out that he's got everything.
Yeah.
But he thinks that he's going to get away with something.
Mm-hmm.
So, but, like I said, it's such a small percentage. And I tell a lot of guys, chasing bad money will put you out of business in a heartbeat. So some guys are so wound up about it, they'll go after a guy for $25 and they'll lose, $500-600 chasing one guy for $25. So it's kind of crazy.
Well, that's good. That's only that's good. It's only a small percentage.
Yeah, it just sucks when it hits you and you're like,
you
kind of have to regroup and like that guy that owed me $1,200, he was paying me $400 a week.
Oh, nice.
That was a hell of a stop. I mean, that was a hell of a shot. Like I said, and of course, that's the problem. You have no problem. When he's paying you like that, and he wants to get another $500-600.
Sure.
Paying, like I said, and he did tell me, that he was going back to Texas. That's the only problem, and the other part of this is dealing with another distributor someplace else.
Yeah.
And sometimes they kind of they'll play around saying, "Oh, that guy's not here," and you find eventually you find out that he is, and he won't collect your money or collect it and never pay you. I've had that.
I know a guy.
Yeah. I know a guy too. Yeah. Actually, this tool guy is a tough mother. Like he's had guys that were like confronting me. He's like, "Here, dude, you got my address. Come to my house.
Yeah.
I'll meet you in my front yard and we'll talk about it." Like, wow. Okay.
Yeah, some of those guys, it's nice having some good buddies because sometimes you just got to mention a word and
yeah,
kind of funny how people show up with money the next day or
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
Yeah. Look, my daughter owed me a couple bucks, right? And I was like, "Where's my money at?" She was like, "Oh, Dad." Yeah. She went through it, right?
Uh-huh.
So I text her. I was like, one of my good buddies, man. His name's Pepe, and he is not one to play with. And she's grown up listening to all the stories about Pepe. So I was like, "That's all right. I'm gonna have Pepe give you a call later on." So she posted it on Instagram that my dad said he's sending Pepe after me to get his
Put the
$5.
hit out, huh?
Yeah. Listen, my boy.
Actually, it's kind of funny because a lot of times, if you get a hold of the guy's wife,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and all you gotta do is make a comment, and man, that straightens that up real quick right there, man.
Man, you didn't have to call my wife.
Yeah.
We had a conversation like that today. In fact, we were talking about payment, and he was telling me, like, this guy goes, I'm kind of antisocial. We went to some picnic, and they were out at a park, and I think Belmont Park, and he's sitting down but having a drink, and one of the guy's wives is over there, and she's, so who are you? My name's, what do you do? He goes, I'm a tool dealer. She goes, tool dealer? What tool dealer? He goes, I'm a Snap-on dealer. She goes, oh, I know you. I write the check to you every month. So they got to be fast friends. She's like, what are you doing selling him so many tools? He's like, listen, I'm just selling him what he asks me for. It's like, it sounds like talking to a drug dealer. It's like,
Yeah,
what do you need?
he needs it.
I got to provide him with what he wants, So yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, you just gotta take care of the wife every once in a while. I got a buddy or a guy that owns a body shop, and Johnny's funny because he was like, my wife says I can't buy any more tools. So she was gonna go pick the kids up, and she was driving down, and I stopped her, and she's like, Johnny can't buy any more tools from you. And I said, oh, but I got these wonderful pair of socks for you.
Oh yeah.
And then she's like, oh really? These are bamboo. Oh, I love these socks.
Yeah.
I said, here, take some socks.
Yeah.
Of course, then I come around and Johnny goes, oh, my wife says I can buy that tap and die set. And I was,
That's right. You got to play the game.
yeah. Yeah, I got to take care of everybody's wife. Whew.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, well.
Tough
It's
dude.
good. No,
Well, hey
but-
guys, you guys can start the after party because I got to go to sleep.
All right, Louis.
Hey, I'm still working on some guests. It's hard to get people to,
I had Uncle Tony from Uncle Tony's Garage on the show last Sunday, and I mentioned this. I was trying to sell the show. I'm gonna see if I can get him on. He's a character, man. He is
Good.
a character.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, but we'll see. I'll let you know if it comes about.
Yeah, let me know.
I will.
All right, fellas, I appreciate you guys, man. I'll tell you, I enjoy coming on every Thursday. You know what I mean? It's like a meeting the guys at the garage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Yep. Okay. Well, I'll see you guys next week.
You got
And
it.
if anything pops up, I hit you on the social medias.
Got it.
All right. Good.
All right,
Thanks.
Louis. Good night. Oh man, the Shevitz.
Oh boy.
So, Brian, did you watch the debates last night?
No,
Yeah, I usually don't. But
I watched The Masked Singer.
I had to see the train wreck. I can't stand hearing freaking Bernie Sanders talk.
Oh
That
my
mumbling
God.
mouth motherfucker. Oh,
Blubber lips. And he's always got that hand going.
yeah. What was with what's her name? The woman all the way on the site next to Buttigieg. She's with the
yeah.
B too. I swear, every time she spoke, it looked like she was shaking. Like I think her hair must have been a
nervous.
helmet of hairspray. And my wife said the same thing. She was, I thought the same thing. She was like, she must be nervous. I said, no, she wasn't nervous, but it just looked like she was
wow.
shaking every time she spoke.
Weird.
I don't know. Those guys. I mean, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I don't understand how anybody can listen to that garbage and not understand. And they think that I'm crazy.
Because they 100% believe what they say.
The thing that gets
They really think that more than 50% of America are just a bunch of dumb assholes.
I think every one of them said at one point or another, besides Bloomberg, that we're all in this together. We all just want to get Trump out, and this is all. We all have the same, sight in mind. They all said that.
Right.
They're the most disorganized, synergistic group of people I've ever seen in my life. It's like I wouldn't want any one of them at the head of the country.
The
Yeah.
biggest problem with all of them, and as far as I'm concerned, the whole party, they want government to run everything.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
government can't run anything
couldn't run a lemonade
properly.
stand.
And
Yeah.
the topics that they don't talk about are the ones that almost everyone in America is worried about.
Mm-hmm.
How about doing something about the goddamn deficit in this country?
Mm.
They want to spend more money. They want to tax us so that everybody gets this health care, so that people that have student loans get their loans forgiven. Screw you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the one that wanted to go to college. You're the one that took out the loan. Then figure out how to pay for the goddamn thing. It's not my problem. Your loan is not my problem. Do I ask you or my government to pay for the loan on my brand new GMC truck? No, it's my loan. That's my debt. That's for me to take care of. They're elected to help run this government properly. And the one giant thing that they always forget about is that we spend more goddamn money than we take in.
Yeah.
Figure out how to balance a budget. We haven't had a balanced budget since Clinton was in office.
Mm.
It's ridiculous. And they just want to spend more money. Tax, because mama government is going to take care of everybody. No, mama government don't know shit.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
what it boils down to. And they wholeheartedly believe every bit of drivel that comes out of their mouths. That Pocahontas, I got a plan. She's got a plan for everything, this bitch, but she can't figure out how it's going to get paid for. I got a plan for that. Really? Take your plan, stick it in your ass. Seriously.
John.
Yeah.
What happened? Where's your light? Because it looked like your head just floating around there, man.
No, you got the Alfred Hitchcock vibe going now because
Yeah,
everything
I
is
mean, he's
black.
got all scary. I mean, you're scaring me, man.
The background is black. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what. I tell you what.
I'll take it out in a garage.
No. Hang on. Make that face. I was going to do a screen grab here. Yeah. All right. I'm going to send you this screen grab, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
I mean, I don't want you to tip anybody off and think that you're psycho or something. Just
No, not me.
I don't want you on the
Totally
watch
calm.
list, man. Take it easy.
Yeah.
You're just not a drive down the street to check on you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it boggles me.
Yeah.
They got the stuff around here so torn up, with this inner restructuring building, and they've chased everybody. They've taken all the parking lots and built on them, so there's no place to park now. So, and everybody wants to know, well, why aren't these small businesses they don't have any business?
Yeah. It's crazy.
You're not going to, to go downtown, just go to a restaurant. It's $150 first of all for a family of 4, but then you're going to pay $27 to park while you're eating.
Yeah.
Look what this thing looks like.
Wow.
It's nice stuff, right?
Yeah.
Hang on. Where the hell did this go? I lost.
What'd you lose?
No, I'm on another screen here. I'll give you this picture.
Oh, you texted it to me?
No, I just
Emailed.
yeah, we can email to both of you. You just come on, go, you bastard. Okay, good.
Check out that carbon fiber firewall.
Sweet. Yeah, that is nice.
Right?
Yeah, the pictures that you sent last week were, when I looked at them on the computer, you could see the color and the depth.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I don't know.
So is that like glued or?
It's gonna get glued on. I need to do, like a couple of rivets in the corners here,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Mhm.
because that gets hidden under the fender.
Yeah, right.
But there's still a firewall under there. Still structure.
Oh no, the
right?
stock firewall's there.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just
This is just a cover that you put on
To clean
instead
it
of
up.
doing like a smoothie, like a lot of guys will do.
Yeah.
Like Bondo it up and
I like
weld it
that
up.
better. I like that
This
better.
looks good because it's got the nice ribbing.
It's like the reinforcement ribs.
Yeah.
It's more structural to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a really super nice firewall cover. It's gonna
Go
look good.
back down. How was it around the steering wheel? I mean, was that all?
It's
Well,
relieved.
this part kind of stays open because you got your master cylinder,
Uh-huh.
and then you got your steering column, which we're replacing the column with a new one.
Are you going with one of those ICPs or
I did it.
I did it?
Yeah, like I did it, or Flaming River, or one of those companies that.
Uh-huh.
What do they retail that cover for, John?
Uh-oh.
Got to reconnect. That is a nice part. Very nice.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, well, I got the kit to cut the shock towers out of the Mustang.
Yeah. Okay. You got the kit. All right.
I got the kit. I get scared when I fire that plasma cutter up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, with that, you just got to follow the instructions. I mean, most of it just goes away.
Yeah.
On my laptop, I got knocked off.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the retail on that cover, John, for the firewall?
I think it was like $269 or $289, something like
Oh,
that.
really? That's not
Yeah.
bad.
Well,
Yeah,
worth
it's
it.
not bad. It's a nice piece.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We also have there's these. Hold on, let me go grab them.
This is the first week of cold weather, and the Micey's come back in the office down
Oh,
here.
really? Yeah.
Yeah.
The struts that run from the fender to the radiator support.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh, yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, they got these Heim joints, and it's
Nice.
carbon fiber.
Beautiful.
And we also have
No more stamped steel chrome.
right. We got carbon fiber center stack where
Mhm.
the heater controls are.
Right. Right.
That piece is coming, and also the part that goes in on the center console.
Nice.
So it'll be pretty cool. A lot of carbon fiber.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's going to use, like Ring Brothers billet aluminum hood hinges
Yeah.
and some other
Man,
stuff.
some of that stuff is so nice, but man, it's so expensive, dude.
Oh, I know.
The Ring
Tell me
Brothers
about
stuff is, but it is top shelf.
it.
Man,
Yeah,
that's crazy money, though, man. I
I know. They get a lot of money for them, but they're really nice. They're
Yeah,
super
well, they are
nice
nice.
hinges, with the gas strut.
Right.
yeah.
So they work real well.
It's like those Kindig door,
Yeah.
door handles that everybody likes to use.
Yep. I'm thinking about, but I actually haven't done the research. I'm thinking about putting a set of outer door handles from a Tesla on my car.
Okay.
They're really cool.
Yeah.
I haven't
You know?
noticed them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like thin and they're flush. And you
Yeah.
push them and push on one end and the other end comes out.
Right. Right. That's
You
like the Kindig. Yeah. His does kind
Yeah, sort of like the Kindig one.
Yeah, years and years and years ago, back when I was at the BMW, Porsche, Audi, and BMW, I had snagged some flush-mounted door handles from a BMW and drew them on the Mustang, to get rid of them. That was 20-some years ago.
Yeah.
And I actually also had it was off of a M3, I think, but I made it for the trunk lids because I'd let it in the trunk. I don't have a key for the trunk,
Uh-huh.
Right.
and ran the cable and mounted it and so forth.
Cool.
And that was 20 years ago. That stuff is like barbaric when you look at it now, but there was nothing like that around anymore.
Right.
You
Right.
dug around and found it.
Yep.
So, but
We used to do stuff like that all the time when we were building, cars for people. We would, me and my partner at the time, we would like run to the local junkyard,
yeah,
just like look at cars, and see who had like semi-flush or really nice looking, outer door handles because at the time I thought like the ugliest thing in the world is a 67 to 69 Camaro door handle.
yeah.
It's such a late 50s, early 60s kind of design,
I
and if
I
you're
had
putting a
a-
set of fiberglass doors on a race
Yeah,
car,
true,
why
true.
do you want to put that? So we
Doing
used
like a
to
Corvette
find,
match. Yeah.
yeah, we used to find stuff like that, or like out of foreign cars where it was
Yeah.
small and relatively flat,
Yeah.
and then we would
I
just
hated
hack
the
that piece out
I
of the
hated
car.
the mirror, the side mirror on the door.
Oh.
Mm,
I hated it on my Mustang so much. That was just the
Yeah.
ugliest mirror that sat there.
yeah.
So I had taken a magnet from a radio and stuck inside so it would stick on the car,
Uh
and I would take it off and
huh.
drive down the road. Well, one night I get pulled over and I stick the mirror back up on the door, and the cop comes down and gives me a bunch of shit. I was probably spinning tires or whatever, doing a whole shot, causing trouble.
Mhm.
So he's like, I'll be back with your ticket. And I was like, okay. So he walks away. I grabbed the mirror and just like threw it on the floor next to the back, He comes back and he does the classic, like put his hand down to the mirror.
Yeah.
So he goes,
Whoa.
wasn't there a mirror here? I said, oh, yeah, right here. Picked it back up, stuck it on the car. Gave me now that was a safety violation, not having a mirror.
Oh God.
I hated those mirrors. God.
What was he giving you a ticket for? Not those aircraft carrier
Oh, it was
driving lights.
I mean, I was on their monthly list.
Yeah, I was too.
God.
I was at USA. Yeah, the USA 1 license plate. The Pontiac. I always something different plate.
Oh, I hated I didn't have a front tag. I never had a front tag.
Yeah.
I
Always
hated
got
having a
pulled
front
over.
tag.
I hated the front tags. It was so funny. My dad borrowed. It was actually my brother's car that I drove. When he was living in New York, he would forget to move the car from one side of the street to the other.
Alternate side of the street parking.
Right, so it would get towed off. He had, spent all day getting the car out of him, from storage, and $1 million later. And by the third time, actually, what really got him was he lives in Brooklyn, right across. What was that? Was that Martin Luther King? No,
Martin
what's
Luther
the
King Boulevard?
Boulevard?
Probably.
There's a million Martin Luther King
Yeah, I know. I
drives and boulevards all over the country.
Yeah, he lives on. He's right across the street going into. Is it Brooklyn or Queens? Brooklyn. I don't know.
Brooklyn and Queens abut each other, and then Brooklyn and Manhattan are across the river, so you have to go over the bridge.
Yeah. Well, so he got to the point where he just left the car unlocked. Because
Right.
that way nobody would break a window. And, he had a note that said there's nothing in the car, because no radio, no nothing. It was just, there. So it was a Volkswagen Fox station wagon that he had.
Right.
So, so one night he had to move the car over. So he goes down there and, it's like 2 a.m. or whatever. Gets in the car, and as soon as he starts it up, a head pops up from the back and jumps over, because it was a 2-door, jumps over him and gets out. It was some homeless guy sleeping in the back of his car.
Yeah, I've heard that happening.
He was like, that's it, man. I'm done with it. So he brought it home, and my dad was like, I don't want this sitting out in front of my house. If you want to drive it, just drive it, So, of course, what's the first thing that comes off? The front tag comes off, because I hate the way those things are.
Me too.
And none of my cars has front tags. And So it was funny. My dad had to borrow. I guess his car was in the shop, so he borrows my brother's car, and of course he gets pulled over and gets a ticket for not having a front tag.
Oh, gosh.
So he goes, "You don't have any tags? How come?" And I said, "Yeah, I got a handful of tickets. I don't like them." My dad couldn't understand that. He was just like,
Wow.
"Why do you put yourself through that?" I said, "Because I hate front tags."
Yeah, I hated that when I lived in New York, but I had the front tag on the white Firebird. But when I built the black one, I never put the mount on the fiberglass nose for the front tag.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, in all the years I had that car, I never got a tag ticket.
The other cars
Oh,
were
why?
rolling relation anyway, with all the other stuff that was on there. So what's the difference?
I
They
know,
could
tell me
write you.
about it.
Yeah, my Fiat, same thing. I didn't put a license plate on the front, and I got pulled over once by a trooper. And it was it's a long time ago. My daughter was young, so I had a car seat, a baby seat in the bucket seat next to me. It's a 2-seater. And I get pulled over, and he's like, where's your he wanted me for other stuff, but he really couldn't substantiate it. He couldn't prove it. So he says, listen, we got to write you for your front license plate. I'm like, oh, no, I got the front plate. He's like, where is it? It's supposed to be on the car. I'm like, well, listen, the car I just had the car painted, and it was recently painted. And I said, the bracket is like, it was rotted. So that the old bracket was trash. Said, it's got to come from Italy for this car, and nobody can get it. There's no importers. I said, I got the plate. It's in the trunk. And he says, well, why is it in the trunk? I said, well, I had it up on the dash. Now, it's a real small car with a short dash. I said, I had it on the dashboard. The problem is, I got my daughter over here, and, see her seat, baby seat. So I was afraid if I made a turn and the plate slid across the dash, it could hit her, like in the neck and the head, because she's small and the car is small. And he sat there and he processed that, and he says, he goes, I don't know if you're shitting me or not. He says, but that's a plausible story. He says, I'm not going to write you. I'm like, cool. Excellent.
I beat a ticket for reverse lights.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why, but I don't know. Back in the 70s, mid to late 70s, there was some sort of like unwritten code, and maybe this was a Long Island thing. If you were driving around with your reverse lights on, that means you were looking for a street race.
Ah, okay.
I don't know where that came from.
You know what?
I kind of fell into that crap.
Everybody that ever switched like to a Hurst shifter or something, their reverse lights were usually on.
Well, when I put the Ford top loader in the car, I didn't hook up the reverse lights.
Right.
And I had them, the way, with the GMs, your linkage was hooked up and it moved that collar on your steering column.
On the later car, right.
Your reverse light switch was part of the steering column.
Yeah, if it was 68 or 69 or later, right.
Yeah. So obviously that collar was twisted and the backup lights were on in the 70, and I'm in Comac, and a cop pulls me over and writes me a ticket.
Yeah.
So I go to court over in Hauppauge in front of the judge. I'm like, Judge, I go to college. This is my only car. I had a problem with the clutch and the transmission, and I didn't have the money, and I did the work on my own with my friend up the block on my driveway. My dad doesn't know anything about cars, and I had a problem with this reverse light linkage thing, and I don't know what to do. The lights were on. It's either that or I have to like pull the bulbs out of the sockets. And the judge was like, well, yeah, since you're a young kid and you don't have any tickets and you're going to college, yeah, all right, I'm dismissed.
Nice.
I walked out of there like, yeah.
And now I have the reverse of that reverse light. I got my Pontiac since 75, never had reverse lights in the car. Now that I put the Tremec transmission in the car, it's got the internal reverse light switch. So I wired it up and I'm like, holy shit, I got reverse lights for the first time in like 40 years.
Nice.
Jenny saved me one night. I was taking her home. This is when we were dating. I had my International Scout. I have a 69.
I can see you with one of those. Yeah.
We flipped the axles.
Is it in gold?
Put 30.
Gold?
Huh?
It was gold?
No, it's
Maroon.
well, it's green. It
Oh,
was
green.
forest green. Yeah.
Oh.
And we flipped the axles and put 36 monster mutters on it.
Oh God.
So it was like this big file cabinet going down the road,
Right.
And it had a 345 old school bus motor. To all this torque in the world, but no horsepower. It would just you hit second gear and it would just put you in the next lane. It had a 727 torque flight.
Yeah.
But I had and this has real CB headlights. The real 200 watt things. And I'm going down this road. It's snowing. And you can hear me coming a mile away. And there's this cop sitting on the side of the road, and I go right by him, and I see him pull out, and I was like, damn it. And Jenny's like, what? I said, nah, this cop's gonna pull me over. She's like, really? And I said, yeah. She goes, why? And I said, well, we're too high, first of all. I mean, I'm over 36 inches, but I said, I got no front tag. That's the easiest thing, right off the bat, So, of course, he pulls over, walks up, and he goes, license and registration. And he goes, you know why I pulled you over? And I said, I have no idea. He goes, well, you got no front tag. And Jenny turns into a bitch like that. What do you mean there's no tag on there? I told you to put that tag back on. I was like, I mean, you couldn't even write this. I didn't even know what was going on. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And the cop goes, let me see your driver's license and registration. And man, she is just going at it,
Nice.
I told you to put that tag on. What the hell's your problem? Blah, 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 blah.
Nice.
So the guy walks back. He goes, make sure you take care of that tag and have a nice evening.
She
He
saved
didn't want to
your
have no
ass.
part of that, man. He was like,
She
I
saved
think we got
your
everything
ass.
handled there.
He
So
felt
I'm like,
sorry for you.
crap, And I
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
over, she goes, you owe me.
Yeah. He felt sorry for you. Absolutely.
That's awesome. Good for
And
you.
I said, holy smokes. But got me out. But I was the old Scout, man. That was a hell of a truck, man.
Yeah.
Hell of a truck.
And they're coming back. Now they're collectible. People are going after them like crazy.
You can't find anything.
Yeah.
Mine's under the deck.
Is it?
Yeah.
Under the-
Yeah, I had a 4x4 railroad tie strapped to the body to the frame because the mount and the floor was gone. They didn't make any parts for it.
I hope that's a second story deck you're talking about.
Huh? Yeah, it's under the
Yeah.
it's under the deck. Yeah.
Because otherwise it'd be flat. I'm
Yeah.
hoping it wasn't just the parts.
No.
I got parts on my 71 Riviera under my pool deck, and but it's just like the glass and all, so it's not the car.
That's
Yeah.
funny that you mentioned Monster Mutters. God, I haven't heard that.
Oh,
in a
yeah.
while.
And
I
CB
used to sell
lights.
them all the time when I worked at ATV.
I was just watching on YouTube tonight. There's a channel, and the guy has like compilations of commercials. I was watching them from 76, from 77,
Yeah.
and like a lot of them you remember, and some of them you're like, did I ever see this before? Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
On my Pro Stars for the Mustang,
Uh-huh.
I just took the tires over to my storage unit. The Pro Stars that I have, the Bob Glinton Pro Stars, I
Yep.
got a set of N50s.
Oh,
I
get
got
out of
N50
here.
back. I got
That is
N50
like-
got back.
I look at
N50
those
15s.
things and I smile. I'm like, man, nobody knows what this shit is.
No,
You know what I'm
Pro
saying?
Track.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ProTrack. That was the name. ProTrack.
Yeah.
Pro Track N50s.
ProTrack N50s. Yeah.
I
I didn't have N50s on the Firebird. I had L60s.
L60 was the other one, yeah. But the
Because
tread pattern,
N50s were too short and
They were
too
very
wide.
short. I had those on my
really
Camaro.
short, really wide.
The tread
Yep.
pattern looked like capital I's
Right.
on a Prius. Yeah, it looked good in the snow.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I had L60 15s and F70s in the front.
Yeah, it was a classic combination.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
that was pretty
I had them
wild.
on my Anson Sprints.
I'm
That's
I'm
funny.
in the like I said, we're three of us and myself, so that's four. We're looking at this building
Mhm.
for storage.
Yeah.
and these are all younger guys. These are what are they called? Drifters, or the Nissan, the Japanese.
Oh yeah,
stuff,
yeah, yeah.
you know?
Drift guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
these are the guys that walk around, thinking that their shit's loud, But it's funny. One of them was over here, and I pulled out those tires. He goes, "What the fuck are they?" I said, "Those are N50s. I want to educate you. This is a fucking tire.
One of those like for your
This other
steamroller.
shit that you have is,
What do you do? Like flatten out asphalt with those? Like yeah. Those are my
he
high
was-
stackers.
I had my 2.4s, my tunnel ram set up,
Yeah.
and he's like,
What's
"What
that?"
the fuck is this?" And I'm like, "God, you guys are driving." I mean,
I can't tell you how many times I go to cruise night, and I'll just like pop the hood, and the guys will do a double take, like 2 4-barrels. I'm like, yeah, one wasn't enough.
yeah.
So I
Right.
just had to do 2.
I tell.
I always
him,
wanted a tunnel ram, and I never bought one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like an idiot. I always
I
went
tried
single
all
4-barrel, big Dominator.
Actually, what I'm using in my den next to my recliner is a tunnel ram, a single quad tunnel ram, and I just have
Okay.
like a towel and a couple books on it. That's like a little end table for me.
Yep.
My little
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved, like I said, my my Hillborn injection. I'd love to have that back on.
that's sitting on top of my bookshelf across from my next to the TV. The whole board,
Guys
yeah.
got all kinds of shit.
Yeah,
It's
I
the-
got.
it's the
I
coolest
got
piece
the
of
Aussie,
junk I
the
got.
cross.
Mechanical
bought that
injection.
cross ram,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
and it's so funny with that little 289. When you open the hood up,
Oh yeah.
all you saw was this intake
Yeah.
and these 2 carbs that are sitting off the side by side. And
That's
everybody's
fair.
like trying to figure out where the motor is.
Yeah. Where's
you
the
know?
engine? Right. The 289 is narrow.
Yeah. It was all on top of that stuff.
That's wild.
And
That's wild stuff.
But I had the cross ram, I had a tunnel ram. I never had a flat 2-barrel, or flat 4-barrel, like a factory intake.
Really?
Mhm.
It was always a tunnel ram or whatever. And then I had the best one ever though was my Torker 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
the Torker too. I used to
That's
sell a lot
cool.
of those at the speed
Yeah,
shop.
man.
I ran a
I took it
Toyota
up to the
on my,
machine shop, and the guys up there at the machine shop just hogged the shit out of it, and there was like nothing left. I mean, it was like paper thin, dude.
I ran a
Man,
Toyota on the
I
Camaro.
look back there, and there's like this pile of aluminum, and I'm like, "Where did that come from?" He goes,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah.
we got you flowing, baby.
Wow.
You're
yeah.
flowing."
Well, you got a minute and a half. When are you flying out?
Yeah. What?
When are you flying out? Saturday?
Saturday morning.
Nice. So you get the weekend. That's great.
Yeah.
That's gonna be cool. Send pictures.
I'll
Oh,
be
I
at the
will.
car show.
I plan on it. Hopefully I won't be confiscated.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Last 2 years ago, a lot of guys were like really shooting everything at the expo, and they had to shut down the internet stuff, so we couldn't get any signal inside because people
Wow.
were taking pictures and sending.
Yeah, everybody does that.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, they like I said,
Hey, wait till you get back to your room. It doesn't have to be done right away.
they get their head up in their ass.
Yeah.
They were all upset because when the new toolbox 3 years ago came out and they had nothing but problems, they kind of step on their crank about it because they fucked up the toolbox plant
Yeah.
and all
Those
that
things
shit.
are going to shut down real soon.
Yeah, we got like 20 seconds. Whoa! Yeah, there's a light. It just went white.
20 volt.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, have a safe trip.
Okay, are we almost done? Is that the
We are,
time?
yeah, 5 seconds. 6-4.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're out of here. We'll catch you when you get back.